So you're a founder, you're trying to use AI, but let's be honest, you're probably feeling a little overwhelmed by all the hype and the costs. You are definitely not alone. In this explainer, we're going to cut right through the noise and give you a real, practical playbook for 2026. This isn't just about cool tools, it's about building a solid, strategic advantage that actually grows your business without, going broke. First, let me tell you about Seth. He is a perfect example of what not to do. Seth was burning through $800 a month on a whole pile of AI subscriptions. He thought he was being cutting edge, right? But in reality, his financial runway was just getting shorter and shorter, and he had pretty much zero ROI to show for it. This is the exact trap so many founders fall into. They chase the shiny new tools instead of building a real strategy. And that brings us to the big question we're tackling here. How do you, as a founder, actually harness the incredible power of AI without running out of cash or accidentally stepping on some legal landmine you didn't even see coming? Let's figure it out.
All right, first things first. Let's build your foundation, and you can forget about all those pricey subscriptions for now. This is what we call your startup survival stock, a curated set of powerful and, more importantly, free tools that can give you a massive competitive edge right out of the gate. Okay, let's start with customer support. Imagine being able to handle 10 times the number of customer questions without hiring a single new person. That's what a tool like Intercom can do. Then you've got something like Tidio, which lets you offer 24/7 support with AI chatbots even while you're sleeping. And a platform like Crisp pulls all your communications into one place, so you never get penalized for growing. These aren't just tools, they're basically superpowers for your support team. Now, what about marketing? Well, a tool like SocialBee can pretty much put your entire social media calendar on autopilot. Something like Beehive gives you the power to run email campaigns that look just as good as the ones from Fortune 500 companies. And of course, there's Canva, which now has AI features that let you create seriously professional-looking visuals without needing to hire a designer. And finally, let's talk about streamlining your actual operations. A tool like Notion can literally replace 5 or 6 other apps by putting your company wiki, projects, and notes all in one place. Then there's Zapier, which is like digital duct tape for your apps. It connects everything and automates all those boring, repetitive tasks. And of course, Calendarly just gets rid of that endless email back and forth for scheduling, making you look way more polished and professional. Okay, so you've got your toolkit, now it's time to level up and get a bit more strategic. We need to move beyond just the apps and talk about the brains that actually power them. Because choosing the right core AI model, that's the next level of building a truly intelligent business. By 2026, it looks like the whole field is going to be dominated by 3 main titans. You can think of ChatGPT 5.2 as your super reliable, polished, do-it-all kind of AI. Then you have Gemini 3 Pro, which is more of an innovative, heavy-duty problem solver. And Grok 4.1? Well, that's the charismatic, creative new friend who has a ton of personality. So let's look at the reigning champ, ChatGPT. While it's incredibly reliable, the feedback from people who use it all the time is, well, it's pretty telling. A lot of them feel it's become too safe. As one user put it, it's like a robotic people pleaser that gives cheerfully hollow answers. It's definitely polished, but some would argue it's traded its creative spark for a safer, more corporate vibe. But then you look at Gemini, and the buzz is totally different. It's all about raw power. You see comments like this all the time, saying it's just on another level, especially for tackling really complex logic or coding problems that make other models just give up. The general feeling is that it might have some rough edges, but its sheer problem-solving ability is in a league of its own. So, what's the real takeaway here? Well, as you can see, there's no single best AI. It really is about picking the right brain for the right job. If you need super reliable, polished output for your marketing copy or an investor update, ChatGPT is your go-to. But if you're tackling a massive data set or doing some deep tech code analysis, that's Gemini's sweet spot for sure. And if you just want to brainstorm and get some fun, creative, almost human-like ideas, that's where Grok really shines. Okay, you've got your tools, you've picked your AI brain, but before you dive in headfirst, we have to talk about the hidden legal traps. Seriously, this is the kind of stuff that can sink your entire startup before you even get a chance to float. Get this. A shocking 63% of businesses have no formal AI strategy whatsoever. Now, this isn't just a missed opportunity. It's a huge unaddressed risk. It means the vast majority of companies are basically flying blind when it comes to compliance, intellectual property, and data rights. And here is maybe the most important legal idea you have to get your head around: human authorship. In the United States, if a piece of content is created entirely by an AI, you cannot copyright it. It's not yours. The big Zarya of the Dawn case proved it. If there's no real human creative input, you simply don't own what your AI makes. Which brings up a question I see founders asking constantly. Can you just go out and scrape public data from websites like Reddit to train your own AI models? For a long, long time, a lot of people just kind of assumed that, yeah, of course you could. But the answer now is a very clear no. The game has totally changed. Big platforms are now actively suing AI companies for scraping their data, arguing that all that user-generated content is their property. The days of the free-for-all data buffet are officially over. And hey, this isn't just a US thing. Over in Europe, the EU AI Act is setting a new global standard. If your AI system gets labeled as high risk and you don't follow their incredibly strict rules, you could be facing fines up to 7% of your global revenue. I mean, for most companies, that's an absolute killer. So, with all that said, how do you actually put this stuff into practice without getting completely overwhelmed? Well, in this final section, we're going to give you a simple, actionable blueprint. Think of it as your week-by-week guide to doing AI the smart way. We're calling this the Startup Reality Check strategy, and it's all about building smart momentum. So in week 1, you just focus on the foundation. Get your customer data into a CRM, install a chat tool so you can actually talk to them. Simple. Week 2, you bring in automation with Zapier and Calendly to free up your time from all those repetitive tasks. Then, in week 3, you optimize your internal world with Notion and launch your email marketing. It's only then, in week 4, that you really focus on growth, adding in powerful lead generation tools. See? It's a logical, step-by-step process that keeps you from getting way ahead of yourself. And that really brings us to the end here. The truth is, your competitors are already out there making these moves. They're building their AI advantage, while so many others are just talking about it. So the question isn't if you should adopt AI anymore, it's all about how. So after everything we've just gone through, what's your first move going to be?